Picture your kitchen counter right now. The morning light is just coming through the window. You pour a steaming, fragrant mug of dark black tea. You reach into the fridge, grab the milk, and tip a cold splash directly into the hot water. You watch that harsh, dark liquid instantly transform into a smooth, comforting caramel brown. Stop right there. Look closely at your cup. You are doing the exact biological equivalent of buying a highly advanced security system for your house and then handing the master keys directly to a local burglar. Total sabotage. Pure black tea is one of the most potent vascular protectors found in nature, but that innocent splash of milk completely destroys the very active compounds you are trying to drink. I understand exactly why you do it. Pure, unadulterated black tea naturally tastes harsh. It can be incredibly bitter, almost like biting into a dry, raw acorn. Naturally, your taste buds crave that creamy smoothness to mask the sharp astringency. Most people just boil the kettle, scorch the leaves, and dump cold milk in. This completely neutralizes every single beneficial compound in the cup. You are left with a comforting drink, but zero physiological benefits. You are drinking empty calories. Stay with me. By the end of this, I will show you the specific 2-minute preparation method that fixes the bitterness entirely and preserves 100% of its vascular benefits. Let us look inside your blood vessels for a moment. Your circulatory system is a massive, intricate highway network stretching over 60,000 miles inside your body. Deep within these veins and arteries lies a microscopic, ultra-thin layer called the endothelium. Think of the endothelium as a highly advanced microscopic Teflon coating. It lines the inside of your arteries. It keeps your blood flowing smoothly and effortlessly, preventing plaque from sticking to the walls. As we pass the age of 50, this delicate lining naturally begins to stiffen. It suffers micro tears from daily oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is unavoidable. It comes from the processed food we occasionally eat, the city air we breathe, and the poor sleep we sometimes get. When you drink pure black tea, its complex compounds act like a liquid non-stick repair kit for this vital Teflon lining. Furthermore, black tea actively stimulates your endothelium to produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a crucial short-lived gas that signals your blood vessels to relax and widen. Think of it like unkinking a tightly squeezed garden hose. When the hose is unkinked, the water flows freely without building up pressure. This natural dilation helps lower your blood pressure effortlessly. Supporting this cellular wall is precisely what helps you feel much more vigorous. It keeps your circulation strong. It keeps your extremities warm as the years pass. Have you ever noticed your hands and feet getting colder as you get older? Perhaps you need an extra pair of thick socks in the evening, or you struggle to open a tight jar because your fingers feel stiff. That is often a sign that your endothelium needs support. Your microcapillaries are struggling to deliver warm, oxygen-rich blood to the very ends of your fingers and toes. Pure black tea helps open those tiny vessels up. It acts as a biological ignition key, unlocking your body's own miraculous ability to rejuvenate its circulatory pathways. It is that simple. But here's the most important part. The exact moment black tea meets cow's milk, a chemical clash occurs right inside your mug. Historically, the British only started adding milk to tea centuries ago to cool the boiling water. They did this so their cheap, fragile porcelain cups would not shatter. It was never done for your health. It was a purely practical household trick that became a cultural habit. Cow's milk is packed with a heavy, complex animal protein called casein. Casein has a very large molecular weight. It's designed by nature to build the physical, heavy structure of a rapidly growing calf. Black tea, on the other hand, is loaded with highly reactive plant antioxidants known as catechins. These catechins are microscopic, delicate, and incredibly fragile. When they collide, the heavy casein binds directly and aggressively to the fragile catechins. They form a thick, insoluble complex. It is exactly like throwing a heavy, thick lead blanket over a delicate solar panel. The sunlight cannot possibly reach the panel underneath. Because this new chemical complex is so massive and insoluble, your digestive tract simply cannot break it down. It passes straight through your system.
Your body absorbs absolutely zero of the tea's vascular benefits. You are no longer drinking an elixir. You are just drinking brown water with suspended animal fat. This fat requires massive amounts of gastric acid to process, which pulls energy away from your brain and leaves you feeling slightly lethargic after your morning cup. Put a plus in the comments if you have always believed the myth that milky tea is inherently good for you, or a minus if you already knew it was blocking the nutrients. So, pure tea supports your vascular vessels beautifully, but cow's milk shuts that restorative process down completely. But if you think your circulatory system is the only thing missing out, you are deeply mistaken. The real stealth issue is happening quietly in your gut. Many people instinctively drink a large, comforting mug of milky tea alongside a heavy meal. You probably believe the warm liquid helps wash down the food and aids digestion. It is a very common mistake. Black tea is incredibly high in structural plant compounds called tannins. Tannins actively bind to the non-heme iron present in your food. We consume two types of iron, heme iron from meat and non-heme iron from plants. Non-heme iron is the essential mineral found in dark leafy greens, lentils, beans, nuts, and eggs. Think of tannins as a dry, greedy sponge. They soak up the vital non-heme iron from your meal long before your bloodstream ever gets a chance to absorb it. If you follow a plant-based or vegetarian diet, this is especially critical for you. Picture the familiar feeling of sitting down to a lovely Sunday roast or a hearty lentil stew. You enjoy the meal, have 2 cups of tea with it, and 2 hours later you feel inexplicably sluggish and exhausted on the sofa. That is not just a food coma, that is active iron malabsorption happening in real time. Your body is starved of the oxygen-carrying minerals it just tried to digest. Iron is the core building block of hemoglobin. Without it, your red blood cells cannot transport oxygen to your brain and muscles. This leaves you with heavy eyelids, brain fog, and cold hands. You might even notice a restless feeling in your legs at night, or you wake up feeling completely unrefreshed despite sleeping for 8 hours. Over months and years, this daily habit can leave you feeling constantly fatigued, especially for women over 50. Your gut microbiome also suffers when unabsorbed iron travels down into the lower colon, feeding bad bacteria and causing mild constipation. Drink your pure black tea at least 45 minutes away from your main meals. Give your stomach acid the time it needs to break down your food. Let your small intestine absorb the iron first. In a few minutes, I will show you the exact citrus catalyst that makes pure tea taste incredible. But first, we must fix how you boil the water. While the greedy tannins are busy stealing your iron, the way you brew... You probably believe the warm liquid helps wash down the food and aids digestion. It is a very common mistake. Black tea is incredibly high in structural plant compounds called tannins. Tannins actively bind to the non-heme iron present in your food. We consume two types of iron, heme iron from meat and non-heme iron from plants. Non-heme iron is the essential mineral found in dark leafy greens, lentils, beans, nuts, and eggs. Think of tannins as a dry, greedy sponge. They soak up the vital non-heme iron from your meal long before your bloodstream ever gets a chance to absorb it. If you follow a plant-based or vegetarian diet, this is especially critical for you. Picture the familiar feeling of sitting down to a lovely Sunday roast or a hearty lentil stew. You enjoy the meal, have 2 cups of tea with it, and 2 hours later you feel inexplicably sluggish and exhausted on the sofa. That is not just a food coma, that is active iron malabsorption happening in real time. Your body is starved of the oxygen-carrying minerals it just tried to digest. Iron is the core building block of hemoglobin. Without it, your red blood cells cannot transport oxygen to your brain and muscles. This leaves you with heavy eyelids, brain fog, and cold hands. You might even notice a restless feeling in your legs at night, or you wake up feeling completely unrefreshed despite sleeping for 8 hours. Over months and years, this daily habit can leave you feeling constantly fatigued, especially for women over 50. Your gut microbiome also suffers when unabsorbed iron travels down into the lower colon, feeding bad bacteria and causing mild constipation. Drink your pure black tea at least 45 minutes away from your main meals. Give your stomach acid the time it needs to break down your food. Let your small intestine absorb the iron first. In a few minutes, I will show you the exact citrus catalyst that makes pure tea taste incredible. But first, we must fix how you boil the water. While the greedy tannins are busy stealing your iron, the way you brewed that cup likely destroyed the rest of the nutrients anyway. Here's why your kettle is the culprit. You flip the switch on the kettle. The water rumbles and boils until it hits a blistering 100 degrees Celsius. You then pour that boiling water directly onto fragile tea leaves. Stop doing this. This extreme thermal shock instantly scorches the theaflavins. Theaflavins are the complex antioxidants unique to black tea. When green tea leaves are fermented and oxidized to become black tea, their simple antioxidants transform into these larger, highly beneficial theaflavins. They are responsible for the deep amber color and the profound cardiovascular protection. Pouring boiling water over them is disastrous. It is exactly like throwing a delicate silk shirt into a hot, heavy wash instead of a gentle cycle. You are destroying the nutrients before they even reach your cup. The plant material simply cannot survive that brutal temperature. The microscopic cellulose walls of the tea leaf burst open violently under boiling water. Real natural products are becoming quite hard to find now. Where are you watching from, and what does good quality loose leaf tea cost in your city? So, boiling water scorches the active compounds, leaving you with nothing but damaged leaves. Have you ever taken a sip of freshly brewed tea and noticed a sharp, metallic, almost burnt taste at the back of your throat? That is the unmistakable taste of scorched leaves. You have essentially cooked the plant material inside your mug. You extracted the bitter, defensive tannins instead of the smooth, restorative nutrients. The quality of your water matters too. If you live in an area with hard water, the high calcium content reacts poorly with boiling water. This creates a cloudy, unappetizing scum on the surface of your drink. To fix all of this, you simply need a little patience. When the kettle clicks off, step away. Do not pour it immediately. Let the kettle sit untouched for 2 minutes. This allows the heat to dissipate, dropping the water down to a much safer 90 degrees. At 90 degrees, the water coaxes the nutrients out gently. It preserves the structural integrity of the theaflavins. So, temperature control saves the antioxidants. But while your cup is full of ruined tea, the milk you thought was a perfectly safe alternative is quietly causing a completely different issue. Perhaps you heard about the dairy problem and decided to be proactive. You switched out the cow's milk for commercial oat or almond milk, convinced you had smartly avoided the casein mistake. Think again. Look closely at the tiny printed labels on those cartons. Many commercial plant milks, especially the barista styles, are heavily packed with industrial emulsifiers, artificial gums, and highly processed seed oils. Look for ingredients like sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, or canola oil. They need these oils to create that artificial creamy froth that mimics dairy. These hidden additives act as an unnecessary inflammatory load on your liver. Your liver is your body's primary filtration system. It has to work incredibly hard to break down these synthetic emulsifiers and oxidized oils. When these oils are processed in a factory, they are exposed to high heat and chemical solvents, rendering them highly unstable. You have simply traded the heavy lead blanket for a slow-leaking pipe. You fixed the casein problem, but unknowingly introduced an artificial sludge into your daily digestion.
These gums and thickeners like carrageenan or xanthan gum coat your delicate gut lining. They can alter your gut microbiome and cause subtle bloating, trapped gas, and mild digestive discomfort that you might just brush off as normal aging. Have you ever caught a supermarket tricking you with these fake health labels? Tell me below.
Do not worry. You will not have to force down bitter, unpalatable tea. In just a moment, I will show you the exact natural catalyst that makes pure tea taste incredibly smooth. So, commercial plant milks replace a protein-blocking problem with an inflammatory one. You're trying to do the right thing for your health, but the modern food industry makes it incredibly difficult. They hide these cheap inflammatory oils behind clever marketing, buzzwords, and beautiful packaging. Always read the ingredient list. If it contains more than just oats, water, and a pinch of sea salt, put it right back on the supermarket shelf. But wait until you see the microscopic damage caused when you leave the tea bag in the water for far too long. Before we discuss oversteeping, we must talk about the vessel itself. Are you using a standard paper tea bag? Many modern tea bags are sealed using a hidden ring of thermoplastic to keep them from falling apart in the mug. When you submerge that plastic-sealed bag in hot water, the heat causes the plastic to break down. It releases billions of microplastics directly into your drink. You cannot see them, you cannot taste them, but your body has to process them. These microplastics cross the gut barrier, enter your bloodstream, and place an entirely unnecessary burden on your immune system. Your body treats these microscopic foreign particles as invaders. Furthermore, the tea inside standard supermarket bags is highly processed. It is often referred to in the industry as fannings or dust. It is the lowest possible grade of the tea leaf. It is the broken, crushed remnants left over after the premium leaves are carefully selected and sold. Because the leaves are crushed into fine dust, they lose their natural essential oils rapidly. They become completely stale. They oxidize on the factory floor long before they reach your kitchen cabinet. Switching to whole, loose-leaf black tea is one of the smartest upgrades you can make for your daily routine. Loose leaves retain their natural oils. They retain their full spectrum of active compounds. You simply place a small pinch into a stainless steel strainer and pour the water through. It takes exactly the same amount of time as using a tea bag, but the biological reward is significantly higher. Now, let us address the steeping time. We've all done it. You leave the loose leaves sitting in the mug for 10 long minutes while you answer the telephone, check your emails, or prepare your breakfast. You take a spoon and aggressively squeeze the strainer against the side of the ceramic. You are entirely convinced you are making the brew stronger and more potent. Big mistake. Oversteeping does not give you more active compounds. It releases excessive amounts of phytic acid and heavy, harsh tannins that actively irritate your delicate stomach lining. Phytic acid is a known anti-nutrient. It binds to essential minerals like calcium and zinc in your digestive tract, preventing your body from absorbing them. It is exactly like squeezing a fresh lemon so hard that you start extracting the bitter, fibrous white rind. You are no longer getting the refreshing juice. You are just forcefully extracting the harsh defense chemicals of the plant. Plants produce these chemicals naturally to deter insects and herbivores from eating their leaves in the wild. They are survival mechanisms. When you steep the tea for 10 minutes, you pull all those defense chemicals right into your mug. This is what causes that dry, chalky, unpleasant feeling on the roof of your mouth. It binds to the proteins in your saliva, stripping your mouth of its natural moisture. So a careful 3-minute steep gives you a potent vascular protector, while a 10-minute steep gives you a guaranteed stomachache and unpleasant acid reflux. You might even feel a slight wave of nausea if you drink it on an empty stomach. That is the phytic acid irritating your gastric mucosa. Now, how do we finally fix that harsh, astringent bitterness without using a single drop of milk? How do we make the tea taste wonderful while keeping every single health benefit intact? The ultimate answer is sitting right now in your fruit bowl. The catalyst is fresh lemon juice, pure, unadulterated ascorbic acid. When you introduce fresh vitamin C to black tea, something miraculous happens to the chemistry of the water. The ascorbic acid immediately alters the pH level of the tea. It instantly cuts right through the harsh tannins and rapidly multiplies your body's ability to absorb the healing catechins. In fact, vitamin C prevents the antioxidants from breaking down in the alkaline environment of your intestines. Your intestines are naturally alkaline, which usually destroys a large portion of the tea's active compounds before they can reach your bloodstream. The ascorbic acid acts as a biological shield. It donates an electron to the fragile catechins, stabilizing them and ensuring maximum absorption into your cells. Think of the fresh lemon juice as a golden master key unlocking a tightly sealed steel vault. It neutralizes the bitter guards and lets the soothing vascular elixir flow freely and effortlessly into your bloodstream. By the way, do you store your fresh lemons in the fridge or out on the kitchen counter? Let's debate in the comments. The visual change is immediate and striking. When you squeeze the fresh lemon into the dark tea, watch the liquid closely. You will see the dark, murky brown instantly turn into a bright, glowing, translucent amber. That is the undeniable visual proof of the pH shifting entirely in your favor. The lemon juice literally brightens the chemistry of the cup. It binds to the bitter compounds so your tongue cannot detect them. You get a smooth, bright, refreshing drink that requires 0 milk and 0 sugar. You only need a few drops. If you find lemons too tart, you can easily use a slice of fresh orange. A wedge of lime or even a splash of fresh grapefruit juice works perfectly too. The entire citrus family shares this brilliant chemical ability to unlock the tea's potential. Just remember one crucial rule. Never add the lemon juice while the water is still boiling hot. Extreme heat destroys vitamin C instantly. You must wait for the tea to cool slightly. Here is your exact daily protocol. Follow these steps precisely to get the maximum benefit from your morning routine. First, boil your fresh, filtered water. Once the kettle clicks off, let it sit entirely untouched for exactly 2 minutes. The temperature will drop to about 90 degrees. This completely stops the violent thermal shock. Second, place your loose leaf tea in a stainless steel strainer. Pour the slightly cooled water over the leaves. Steep your black tea for exactly 3 minutes. Set a timer on your phone if you have to. You will extract the pure active compounds while perfectly avoiding the bitter rind. Third, remove the leaves entirely. Do not squeeze them, do not press them, just lift them out gently. Wait 1 full minute to let the liquid settle and cool just a fraction more. Finally, add a generous fresh squeeze of lemon juice. Watch the dark color lighten slightly. Now you have the perfect cup. By simply dropping the dairy, mastering the water temperature, and adding a fresh citrus catalyst, you completely transform a daily habit. You change it from a heavy digestive burden into a highly potent daily elixir. It actively supports your body. It relieves unnecessary digestive strain. It wonderfully helps your vascular system function at its absolute peak. Your body is incredibly smart. It just needs the right tools to do its job. It needs you to stop putting unnecessary roadblocks in its way. Small daily habits compound over decades. A single cup of perfectly brewed black tea every morning provides a steady stream of vascular protection. It protects your endothelium. It keeps your blood flowing smoothly. It keeps your mind sharp and your extremities warm. Health is not about making massive, impossible changes. It is about taking the simple things you already do every single day and doing them correctly. You do not need expensive supplements when your pantry already holds the answers. You just need to respect the chemistry of the plants you consume. This information is strictly educational to support your daily vitality. Never change your doctor's medical treatment without their consent. If this topic interested you, you will love this one too. You've been peeling kiwis wrong. Why eating the hairy skin is actually brilliant. See you in the next video.